All right, let's see. Ah, all right. Peace reflections. Peace, peace, peace. How are you doing today? Let me give this a couple more seconds. Give it a minute or so. See if we get what we get in the chat here. Today is gonna be a quicker one, right? Don't want to go too in depth on this, but something we do have to talk about a little bit here. So let's wait for this chat to fill up a little bit, then we can get going. All right. So music in your subconscious, right? Conversation of the day today. All right. So first we have to start to understand that your subconscious is a lot more impressionable than we think, right? We have to start to actually acknowledge these things because for a lot of us, we've had certain biology, anatomy, neuroscience, all these different things that tell us that our subconscious mind is very active, right? From an earlier video we did, we talked about how the subconscious mind makes 95% of your decisions. Only 5% of decisions that you get to actually make are conscious decisions. For anyone who's wondering what this is, look up grounding. This is a grounding wristband, right? It's plugged into the grounding socket on your thing, so it's going to help to even and balance out the electrons in your body, aid circulation, cool things like that, right? But anyway, so the subconscious mind and music. So what we have to start to realize is that we don't have as much control per se over our mind and over the things that we take in as we think we do sometimes. Now, how are these things expressed, right? These things get expressed through some of the struggles, some of the pains, some of the anxieties that we feel, things like this that when you sit back and you think about it, you wonder, is that really a valid thing to be worried about? Are these real valid things for me to be aspiring to? Things of that nature. Again, we talked a little bit about this as well in the association video. So now we're going to start trying to link some videos together here now that we have kind of the foundation. So music is something that we all love, right? Music is fantastic. Music is what drives some of us, it's what aids some of us, it's what connects the dots for things that we do. Music is beautiful. Um, but good music is beautiful. Music can also be a burden. Music can also hold you back, right? Um, if you look at society today, we have people and we have a whole movement of people, right, who are saying that are all trying to be independent, right? The new thing is everyone wants to be independent today. Everyone's trying to look for their own way. They're trying to express themselves. They're trying to do all these different things. But the funny thing that we find when we start to look at this motif, we start to look at these things, is that people aren't really as different, right, as they think they are, right? We're not really that different from the next person, right? The way we dress, the way we act, our goals aren't really that different from anyone else that are around us. So you have to start asking yourself, why is that? Why is that? Now, societally, we have certain things that, again, will parameter you and have you in a certain mindset. But if we're all listening to the same type of music, right, and we're all acting the same way, because music, I would say, has more of an effect on the pop culture of society, than kind of the institutions. The institutions help to enforce, but music has to give a little bit of a foundation. So what do I mean? So when you go out to the bar, right, most people are drinking Henny, right? If you're drinking Henny, we know Henny is awful for you. We know dark liquor is terrible for your liver. It's one of the worst, right? All these different things. But whenever people want to get drunk, they want to grab Henny. Some people are on Grey Goose. Then there was the whole tequila and Patron. Like, you see that once music starts to push certain things and certain movements on you, we adopt it, right? We look at the weed culture, right? I smoked weed for a good amount of time. I've been off weed now for like a month, so I could feel another difference, right? But even me, I look back and see like and listen to all the music. All the music is helping you to do like would people be doing lean like that if music wasn't promoting it, right? How good is lean for you? It's horrible for you. Shit is terrible. It's garbage, right? But we have people doing this knowing that it's literally like a toxic. It's literally gonna kill you, right? It's horrible for you. So, what is it that you're listening to, right? What is it that's training your brain? Because we have to start to realize and we have to start to actually take responsibility for the fact that our subconscious is like a sponge, right? We take in all the things around us even if we don't really want to, right? For my parents out there, you guys know with your kids, right? There's certain things that everyone's always trying to teach and instill in their kids, right? They're always trying to teach and instill certain things. However, it's always the thing that your kid picks up from watching you that they actually act on. It's never really like it will be, but not without like drilling it. It's never those things take a long time. The things they always seem to pick up easy are the things that they pick up off your character, the subconscious things. Like you might do a certain thing when you eat or something, and then all of a sudden you look at your kid's doing the same thing because they watch you do that. Because subconsciously that's triggering them because that's something you always do. Because if I'm trying to teach you something on purpose, right? I will not like always remember that unless it's really a part of me, right? So if I'm trying to go out of my way and teach you something that's different than who I am, I have to always remember it. So that's why, as parents, we have to embody what it is that we want to pass on to our kids first before we can then give them and instill these principles and morals. We have to make sure that we're always rocking on that. And that's the difference between our generation. We like to do the do as you I say, not as I do, right? However, all scientific study and information finds out that that's not how we learn, right? We don't learn that way. We learn through repetitive watching and movement. We learn through like the actions, seeing the actions, right? That's why you pick up things from your parents that they do over and over and over again because that's what you see the most, right? So it should be no different with our music, right? You got to be mindful of your diet. You can watch, um, what's his name? Freaking damn! I just posted something on him recently. I'll think about it in a second. But he's saying to mind your diet, right? I gotta mind my diet, no matter what it is. But like my entertainment, like I gotta mind my musical diet as well. Saul Williams, I'm sorry, Saul Williams, right? He did an interview at 106 at Park, or he did with Ebro in the morning, I think. Yeah. Oh, he did on Hot 97. I'm sorry, Hot 97. He did an interview. He said, "Yo, everyone's gotta be more attentive to their diets, your musical diet, your media diet, things like this, because your subconscious is active, right? So you think it's like I think it's weird how like we have certain demographics of people who listen to all certain types of music, all dress the same, all do the same type of things. They all do certain ritualistic things, right? But none of them want to acknowledge that the music is like the driving factor, right? Now, your music should be used to amplify your mood or like give you some fire, like give you a little bit of pep to do something, right? It should be expressing a real emotion that you have. The problem is that a lot of us are listening to music that are imprinting things on us instead of helping us express things, right? Our music is not expressive like of truth. Like we're not expressing truth, we're expressing the lower self. And that's why I say there's a lot of music out there that's just distractionary, right? There's a lot of music out there that's really not giving like you what you need. It's not doing for you what music could be doing or should be doing. It's distracting you, right? It's keeping you in the dark. It's keeping you out of a way of understanding, right? So if I'm always listening to music that's talking about killing, guns, selling drugs, all these different things, my perspective and mindset on real world is gonna be skewed, right? Some of the things that I act towards, if my music is being reckless against like my body, my morals, principles, Like, what am I going to act like once I bring that into the application, once I start making subconscious decisions, right? My subconscious decisions aren't going to be in a place of knowledge, of understanding, of perspective. They're going to be in a, they're going to be in a perspective, but not the one that you want, right? I'm not going to be able to handle certain things, right? Certain things aren't going to be right. I'm not going to want to bring certain things around me, like my environment won't be proper. All of these things just based on the fact that our subconscious is being commandeered and trained by things that aren't doing the best thing. Now, you can even take it a step further, right? If I'm listening to certain music, look at that person who's making the music, right? Besides their money, what do they have that you really want? And that's what we have to think about. Besides money, right? And that's where we get caught in the society. And that's why it's tough because you can also have I can have conversations with people get money and then yo get money. What the fuck you do? Word, that's cool, right? That's cool. If that's what you do, you want to transcribe to that all you want. But I'm saying that there's more. I'm saying that if you look at most of these musicians, rappers, all that, their shit is fucked up, right? Their shit's fucked up. They don't have good morals. They don't have principles. They don't have understandings, right? They're not the best people. So why are you aspiring to be the best? These people that aren't the best people because they have money, right? So are you selling your soul? Where are your morals and principles? What are you? Who are you? And we have to start really breaking this shit down and holding people accountable, right? We have to hold people accountable, and we don't do that. We don't hold these people accountable, and we give them all of our time, right? Because when you plug them into your ears, you're giving them your time. You're giving them your attention. You're giving them your subconscious mind. Like you're training your neurological pathways. You're formulating your perspective on the world, right? Because how many people look for themselves in music? And that's what we all do. You look for yourself in the music, right? So like you look for a connection. So if we're always trying to connect to things, that's a human nature. We're always trying to connect. That's why there's penises and vaginas. Like we're trying to connect all the time. So if we're trying to connect, when I talk to you, we're connecting, we touch, everything is connection, right? So if I'm always connecting to certain things, but it's not serving me, right? And the messages that they're giving me aren't messages that serve me, then what am I doing to myself? Is that good music? Am I using that time properly? Is it giving me what it should be? Right? Because what is music supposed to give you? Why do we listen to it? It's supposed to give me perspective, right? It's supposed to give me like a sense of calmness, right? Maybe it's supposed to fire me up a little bit in a sense where I have to get some energy to go do something, right? Maybe it's just supposed to ease some time, right? Be easy. These little things like music is a chamber, music is a link to something, right? So if I'm always linking into some garbage, right, I'm never gonna be able to be that person that I want to be in my life. Now, there are some people who don't really listen to music like that. They listen to it once in a while. They have like a good sense of like here and there. Because if again, if you're listening to music, but you're not really like ascribing to it, I'm not listening to it all the time, right? Then I can kind of block out some of these subconscious little triggers that are going on here. However, if I'm someone who really puts my heart and soul in my music and I got my earbuds in all the time, I got to be mindful of my diet, my musical diet. I gotta be mindful of what these artists are about because my subconscious is being trained, right? Again, like I saw early in this conversation, look at your children. Look at the children of the world. They never learn the things you want to teach them. They learn the things they pick up subconsciously from you, right? We're subconscious learners more than we are conscious learners. Just like we're subconscious decision makers more than we are conscious decision makers. So if we don't understand that the training of your subconscious is quite necessary for your development as a human being, right? For your development as a person, so you can understand the perspective of this whole thing. Because music does that. It gives you perspective because you're hopping into someone's consciousness, literally. You're hopping into where that person was when they sat down and made the song. Same thing as a book. Why we have to be mindful of the books we read. We have to be mindful of the things we take in because you're hopping into someone's mind, right? Like when you come and watch my channel, you're hopping into my mind, so you're getting a perspective from me. Now, if you're coming to me, I'm giving you a perspective that's different than some of the things you see, or I'm trying to aid in like a certain movement of you, right? So you can start to dissect some of these little things because there is a there's an undertone in society we have, right? Because if I'm listening to music that's talking about killing, fucking, drinking, partying all the time, I'm gonna be caught in my like lower self. I'm gonna lust for a lot of things, right? Because what comes with lusting after money? You're gonna lust after extravagant food. You're gonna lust after extravagant clothes. You're gonna lust after extravagant cars. Because if I'm lusting for money, the way it's talked about in these songs, no one's talking about getting that money and like building an orphanage. No one's talking about getting that money and giving back to their community. No one's talking about getting that money and doing something to uplift, right? And even in the music, no one's even uplifting just in general. So what are we giving our attention to? What are we ascribing our time to? What is our reality becoming? What are we giving our attention to? Because what I give my attention to is my reality because that makes it real to me. Because I'm a human. We connect. Like we're just trying to connect. We're trying to fucking connect. We're having intercourse. We talk. We speak our emotions to one another because we're looking for connections here. So if I can't acknowledge that I'm always looking to connect with things and then take that notion to the music and take that notion to my idea of music and what music is to me, then I won't be able to understand what is going on here, right? Do I think music is important? At times, yeah. But I think that we've also put music in this position like we put a lot of other things. We make it a messiah. We like making these things messiahs. Like we took God and we took our notion of the Christ, we took our notion of all this and externalized it. So now that we externalized it, now we're always looking for something to give us gratification instead of saying like that's in you. Like the love that you really need is only the love that you could have for yourself. I don't need any love besides the love I can show myself. Because once I can show myself real love internally, and internally I can love myself, I don't need love for anything else. Everything else is just an addition. Everything else becomes a plus once I love myself. I don't need anything else. But we're caught in a society where that's what you like, you need that first, right? I need God to be okay with the things that I'm doing. I need Jesus to be okay with the things I'm doing. I need the girls around me to be okay with the way that I look. I gotta have my family be okay with the way that I carry myself. I gotta be in tune with their cultural values, even if they don't serve me, right? We are looking for that acceptance first before we get this acceptance. Like, yo, here I am. Here's what I'm doing. Here's how I feel about myself. Here's what I look at when I look in the mirror because I'm the one who has to look in the mirror at myself every day. It's not that when I look in the mirror, it's just all my family members be like, yeah, you're good today. No, I have to look in the mirror and first say, yo, am I okay with this? Am I okay with this? And that's the thing is people want that, but we also have that poor side where we feel that we can do that to other people, right? That's why I do this shit on my page because I'm talking to myself essentially, right? If you're tuning into me, you're tuning into me because you want to, but I'm talking to me. So if I'm talking to myself here, right? But some people will gravitate to it. But if I'm talking to myself, I don't want anyone else to tell me about like where I'm at, right? Because I'm talking to myself. If you don't want to hear my opinion, my view, you could go somewhere else, right? And if you don't like some of the things that I'm talking about and you haven't done the research on it, then you really have no point to talk about this stuff. But if you've done the research, you have a problem or something like that, then we can talk about that, right? We can talk, but you don't have to be up on my page, right? Go make your own page, start doing your own opinion, and then people who follow that and transcribe to that will see that, right? So we have to start to understand that within all this, within our movement, within our growth, within my growth, right? I'd start to accept and understand certain things. I understand certain philosophies on looks, beauty, things like this, music, all that stuff. Then when I start looking at it, I had to start breaking it down, chopping it down, right? I don't watch too much movies. Like I'll check social media because I want to see like where everyone else is at, right? Where is everyone else doing? Like what's that? Like I spend more time peeping people, like on social media and spend time in nature and stuff like that than I do listen to music, right? I probably listen to like I don't know maybe 4 hours of music altogether in the last like month, maybe. That's like even pushing it. That's like a lot. Like that's even more than I really think. Like I don't have iTunes and stuff on my phone. If I want music, I search it out because I found that like iTunes and stuff like that, then I'll start listening to some bullshit. Like I might only like 2 songs on an album, but there's like 10 songs and 8 of them are probably just like some nonsense that really don't. When I really listen to the words and stop just listening to the beat, like don't really fuck like they don't. It's not me, right? So why am I gonna keep listening to this thing that's gonna be in my ear all day? Let me bump into it, remembering words that like aren't me, right? That's why I believe like listen to instrumentals, right? Get back to classical music, right? We don't listen to classic. We don't listen to Bach, Beethoven, all these things. When people used to make these symphony with movements and things like that, I love beats, yo. I listen to beats all day. Like I'll go on and listen to straight instrumentals. I listen to Jay Dilla beats all day, right? Because even when you're with people, like I'll be with my boys, like we listen to Jay Dilla, we'll start freestyling, we get creative, we start to be able to express ourselves within that sound. And like that's why you want music. Music's supposed to be an expression, right? An expression of you. The problem is that we're looking for other people to express us all the time. I want this person to express me, but like these people don't. That's not what they're not in that frame of reference. Learn how to express yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Then you won't ever need that outside opinion. You won't ever need to go find this shit. Like I will never need to make sure I find a mate if I love myself first. If I love myself first and I know how to take care of myself, I know how to, like I don't need a mate. They're just gonna be a plus when they come into my life. And then they'll feel like they're a plus. Right? They'll feel like they're a plus because right now we're in relationships where people are giving and taking so much because they don't always have themselves. Like I don't got myself, you don't have yourself, so now we're just we're trying to like get that love from each other, but only we know how to love ourselves. So we get upset when you can't really transcribe that love that I'm looking for and like think about that. When if you just loved yourself first, you'd accept anything that comes from that other person, right? Because that would be just love. Because you, it's just extra at that point. It's extra. It's more than you need, right? Because then that's why love is supposed to be so beautiful. Because it's supposed to be more than you need. It's not supposed to be what you need. It's supposed to be more. Because when I love myself, I already have what I need. Now someone else coming in and loving me makes it more than I need, right? That's why I don't care when people like when people have certain opinions about things, certain views on things. I just okay, cool. I love myself. I love this shit, but someone's gonna come in to love me, and then it's already gonna be more than the love I have for myself. So like I don't now I'm gonna be extra good, right? I'll be extra in love. It'll be actual love, right? Because right now it's not actual love. Right now we be moving just because we're scared. Like we don't want to be alone. We don't want to do all these things, right? Don't worry, I'm the same way. It's tough. Like all this stuff is tough. These are tough things to grasp and understand. Love these notions because we've romanticized it. We've let other beings create our understanding of love. Love is not made from your consciousness when you're a kid. You're not brought into this world and given things to really see and figure out what love is. You're told what love is all the time. You're told what these things are. And that's where you have to be mindful of media. We have to be mindful of music because these things are giving you messages. They're giving you notions, they're giving you ideas, they're leading your thought, they're sparking your thought. So if I'm not being mindful of what this stuff is saying, it could be sparking my thought and stuff like that in the wrong places. So I gotta make sure that I'm mindful. Be mindful of the music you have. If you only like 2 songs on an album, don't play the whole album through. If like 2 songs are about some real like good shit and then the rest is like is just about some real bullshit, don't listen to the bullshit. Get rid of the bullshit. Stick to those 2 songs. right? Then build from there. Don't just be listening to shit just to do it, just because it sounds good. To get like everything that sounds good isn't good for you. Everything that glitters isn't gold. All these different notions. We have to start to embody these things, right? And we have to start being more like objective. Sit back and say, yo, that shit like sounds good, but that's so fuckery. Like, why am I listening? Why am I then remembering the words and singing this shit? I shouldn't be, right? And then we wonder why when we go to make like decisions or we have like these disagreements with people, we're fucking firing off, we're going crazy, people are going 0 to 100 and all these different things. We wonder why, because you're not like, even down to like your music, you're not really being mindful of it. You're just allowing it. So, with that being said, be mindful of your music. Be mindful of your subconscious, right? Be mindful of the things that you allow into your reality, whether it's through your ears or your eyes, right? We're going to talk a little bit next week about like eye association, what I'm watching, right? But we got to start thinking about what we hear, right? The subconscious. We have to start thinking about kids again. Go back to association. Go back to these things. What are you associating with? What are you listening to, right? Who are you letting commandeer your consciousness for a bit? That being said, I love you all. I love myself. Have a great day.